Have you ever gotten one of these in the mail? Just so I can explain what it is in case you can't read the text, I'll read it now. Hello, I'm Jimmy, and my partners and I are interested in buying properties in your area. We are an honest team that has a great offer for sellers. Sell privately with no hidden fees. We buy as is, no need to repair or fix. Flexible closing, whether that's 2 weeks or 9 months. No open houses, just my visit. Smiley face. We are not realtors, so you won't pay any commissions or fees. We are the best way for you to sell your home privately. Give us a call to get your home sold now. And at the bottom, it says, "Thanks, Jimmy." P.S. If you're not looking to sell, save this letter. If you know anyone interested in selling, all you need to do is provide their name and number. If we close, you will be paid $1,000. So before I go into what wholesaling is and what this whole operation is, I need to explain what a real estate agent is and what a real estate agent does. Real estate agents work as a community. Myself and the whole community of Sudbury Realtors work together in conjunction with out-of-town realtors to try and connect buyers and sellers with properties that they're interested in buying or selling. Pretty simple. We have an MLS, which is a multiple listing system, which is basically just a database on the internet that some sites kind of siphon off of, like Realtor.com or Zillow, things like that. And our MLS is just designed so everyone on the real estate board, myself and everyone else that's a registered real estate agent, can see what's for sale and get their clients the best information on every property. Well, a market is when the buyers and sellers determine the price themselves. If real estate is in short supply, many people might try to buy the same property, thus driving the price up. If property is in great supply, like a few years ago here, then nobody really wants to buy, and you have your pick of which property you would like to buy out of all the people that are looking to sell. Let me explain how real estate agents get paid in case you're not sure. So the word commission means we only get paid if a transaction takes place, most of the time. So a percentage of the sale price, agreed upon sale price of the property that changes hands, will go to the real estate agents, both the buyer's agent and the seller's agent. And yes, if your real estate agent represents the seller and the buyer, you get double paid. So you get that whole commission, both halves of it become one whole. That's how real estate agents get paid. So what does a wholesaler do? So a wholesaler is not a real estate agent. They even say on their forms, we are not realtors. In my opinion, the first and foremost, most important thing is you have to understand how wholesalers get paid. Wholesalers get paid not by commission, but by the spread on the deal that they're doing. If the wholesaler approaches the seller, in this case, and offers $200,000, the property might be worth something like $300,000. And that's why they're offering this special deal. That $100,000 difference is called the spread, and that's what wholesalers collect. Now that's an extreme example, but it is no means over-exaggerating. Wholesalers make this kind of money, and they have to, on every single deal. It might be $20,000, might be $30,000. Now you might be saying realtors make lots of money as well, sometimes 5%, sometimes 4% of a deal. That's a huge percentage of the sale. With a $300,000 house, 5% is $15,000. Now you split that between the two realtors, it's $7,500 each, gross commission. Obviously, there's lots of expenses, taxes, brokerage fees, things like that. But that's just a rough estimate. If a wholesaler makes 20, again, there's no buying agent, there's no selling agent. They'll just pocket the difference, right? Wholesalers like Jimmy like to frame wholesaling as me and my partners. And what he really means is me, and I will later assign the contract or sell it to someone else. So remember I said they collect on the spread? You get an artificially low price for your property, and Jimmy's partners get an artificially higher price for the property. Now, it's still lower than if they had bought it through traditional means. That's what you need to understand. $300,000 might be actually a good deal for these buyers. That's why they're using a wholesaler. There's just so many reasons you would not want to use a wholesaler, and the deal would need to be extra sweet for you to need to take that risk. Now, some of them are going to frame it and say, well, there's no risk. We're buying it cash. again, they don't do home inspections. You don't have a chance to see the property. There's no accountability for wholesalers. They can do basically whatever they want, and this is the Wild West. Something I've seen mentioned online is saying, well, I tried to wholesale a place and my lawyer wouldn't close the deal. It caused us all sorts of problems. Yeah, that's not a bug. That's a feature. It's because they're doing shady things, and most lawyers aren't comfortable with it. Now, you can find specific lawyers that will be comfortable with it. That's a topic for another video. One of the wholesaling angles they try and play is that they'll save you money or that there's no hidden fees. Now, this is kind of misleading because realtors, in effect, have no hidden fees. The only fee is the commission, which you sign a paper for at the beginning of your representation. So you know exactly what the fee is going to be. Unless your seller's agent is successful and sells the property higher than what you agreed for, then who cares if you're paying more commission? You got more than you even expected to get for it. That would be the only hidden fee of a hidden profit that you also make. Hopefully that made sense. What really bothers me with wholesalers, they say there's no hidden fees, but what about the opportunity cost? What about that $100,000 spread? Wouldn't you consider that a hidden fee? Yeah, I'm going to turn around and sell this to an investor for $20, $40, $100,000 more. Now you're probably thinking, who would fall for that? Wouldn't they just find out the market value and then sell it that way? Well, wholesalers are really good at closing deals, and they also know all the right phrases to say to make you feel like you have to do this right now, like there's some kind of urgency. Inevitably, they have to make you feel like if you don't take this option, it's just not going to be there tomorrow. Now, realtors are not going to do that. They might give you, marketing tactics, sales pressure in the way that, the market's really booming right now, you need to sell, but wholesalers are on a whole nother level. The other thing I wanted to say about this is that opportunity cost of maybe $20, $40, $100,000. With a realtor, they would tell you what the property is worth. And if they're only going to get $200,000 for the property, they'll just tell you not to sell. They'll just tell you it's not worth it for you to sell. It's worth $300,000. If no one's interested, why don't we just wait a little bit? With wholesaling, everything needs to be done right away. Now, they try and frame it as if, we're flexible with closing dates. What they really mean is, you hold the property, but we're already on contract to buy it at a set price. So even if the market appreciates, which in Ontario it almost always does, you don't get to reap the benefit of that. You already signed a contract 9 months before, and you'll get it for the price that you agreed upon. $200,000 is the example that we're running for here. They also say we're the best way to sell your property privately. So how is wholesaling different than just going to your neighbor that puts up a for sale by owner sign and buying it from him? Well, the difference is this guy is not buying the house. He's putting himself on the contract, but at a later date, his lawyer is going to swap out his name for someone else's name, one of his partners, one of these people that's willing to pay less money to get the property than if they bought it on the market, right? I guess there is some inherent value in them saying, we buy it as is, you don't have to clean up. But I can't tell you how many properties I've seen where it's not cleaned up. It's just not the case with whether there's tenants or whatever, something in the family, or if it's a power of attorney, or even if it's part of a will, an estate, it's what it's called in real estate. Sometimes properties aren't cleaned up. We're still going to, as a realtor, give you the fair market value of it and try and sell it in the condition that it's in, whether that's pristine, clean, or whether that's, you just moved out yesterday and there are cable wires hanging out of the walls. We're going to give you the fair market price. Wholesalers will depress the price as much as possible, again, because they want the spread. Buying and selling to be huge, to be as big as possible, because that's how they make money. Us, usually the commission is fixed. So if we depress the price, it actually lowers our pay. So that's what we call in economics a perverse incentive. They have the opposite incentive that you have as the seller. Okay, finally, they say at the very end of their letter, and every wholesaler uses a very similar script. I'm sure they've optimized it across time. It says, P.S. If you're not looking to sell, give this letter to your friend and we'll give you $1,000. Now, again, they said there's no hidden fees. So where does this $1,000 come from? Well, it comes from the spread, obviously. When you have a spread that big, $1,000 it's no problem. As a realtor, $1,000 might be a quarter, a half of my commission for the entire deal. People refer me to their friends because I give them good service. That's the point. Wholesalers have a whole network of buyers, and if they find good deals by depressing that spread and getting the buyer a pretty good deal, better than they would get on the market, the buyers will come back to this wholesaler over and over. But if you've sold your house and gotten scammed for, $20,000 or more because the person told you what it was worth and it didn't happen to be ethical, you're not going to go back to that wholesaler. So wholesalers are always trying to find new sellers using stuff like this. In economics and in real estate, we suffer from a lack of information. This is why a multiple listing system is absolutely essential, because every realtor will have the same information. They'll be able to see all the same listings, and everyone's on the same page. That means everyone that's interested in a property can pay what they think it's worth, and it creates this completely on its own market supply and demand. These externalities, like missing information, is what wholesalers live off of. It's what they thrive on. So how can we combat it? Call a realtor, get informed. You don't need to sign a representation form to get a CMA. Comparative market analysis should only take about an hour to do for an experienced realtor, and most of them will be willing to do it, even with without a representation formed. And if you still want to go the wholesaler route, I don't recommend it, but if you still want to go the wholesaler route, call a realtor, get a quote, a CMA, bring it back to the wholesaler and say, why are you trying to buy this for $80,000 less? And if they give you an excuse like, well, it's because your place is dirty or it's because of the dogs or whatever, just tell them, no, that's with all of that already included. You're paying me X number of dollars less than it's worth. At least then maybe you can try and get a fair explanation of why they think that's the market price. Realtors operate under a code of ethics. We have the Real Estate Business and Brokers Act, which limits our actions and makes us represent our clients to the utmost degree. We can only do something that's good for our clients. We should always do what's best for the client. Wholesalers don't have this, and like I said, they suffer from a perverse incentive. Their interests are diametrically opposed to yours as a seller. Or they might be buddies with the buyer, but again, that perverse incentive is there to charge the most money possible to get the buyer to pay the most possible. Hopefully you guys learned something. I hope I didn't ruffle too many feathers by talking about wholesalers. This is just the candid truth. If you want a full and unbiased opinion of them, this is not the place. Obviously, we are real estate agents that are registered, insured. We obey the code of ethics, and our clients love us. Can't say the same thing for all wholesalers. There's actually been a lot of people upset. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the Home Life Green Team YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video.